generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this cabinet, are actually young Nobel leaders of the world equate. So we penetrate the cabinet. The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us. We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare? To take the necessary action to create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset. So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
There is only one way this pandemic is going to go. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's podcast. My name is Manny Cinder. I am your host, and I have been joined by the one and only Banksy Style.
Yo, yo, yo. Hello, everyone.
Today is Wednesday, the 4th of May, 2022, and we have another show lined up for you. We do not have a guest on certainly not for the moment, but we certainly have some guests in the coming few days. We were hoping to get Danny Roscoe on today, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to confirm that he was going to come on. But hopefully, well, it can't be next week because I believe, Banksy, you're going away and I'm conducting a conspiracy theory special show because you're not here to interrupt anything.
Yeah. I'm not here to call you out on your bullshit. You mean that's what you mean, really?
So where are you going? Where are you going? Philippines or is it Thailand?
Yeah. I'm going far away. Unfortunately, this one I don't want to really give away too much because this country might be a place where some of these mandems might be able to find and shank the man.
Well, I know where you're going, and I'm gonna call the local government. I'm gonna say that's where he is. Go get him.
Yes.
I won't do anything naughty like that. But Zubida, if you're listening, call me. But just to let everybody know the good news, Manchester City are playing Real Madrid in the semi-final of the UEFA Champions League, and they're already 2-0 up, which I believe makes them 6-4 in the lead in aggregate. Anywho, Right, so a lot of things. There was another announcement. Oh yeah, the announcement was Banksy's not going to be here next week. So we have on the panel next week. I believe I think they've confirmed. If not, we'll get them to. We have Angel Moon coming on. We have Open Your Eyes UK. We have Yorkshire Pudding. We have what's the chap that joined recently on Speakers Corner Line? He's a regular on here as well. Let me see if I can find him. 1 minute. Is it what's his name? Trail Later or something? Oh. Anyway.
Trill you later.
Sorry?
Did you say trill you later?
Something like that. Something like that. Anyway, he's coming on. No doubt we'll have Hassan to shout abuse at people. Who else do we have on? Anyway, it's going to be a full panel. We're going to have Jupiter on, and fingers crossed we'll get Wendy on as well, because Wendy doesn't like anything unless it comes out of the mouth of Boris Johnson, because everything's a conspiracy. Anyway, so that's what we've got lined up. I'll make a few more announcements. Danny Roscoe, if you're listening and you can jump on today, brilliant. If not, send us a message back and let's arrange for you to come on in the near future. Right, I think Mr. Banksy Style has already something lined up for us to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a surprise, Manny. I didn't announce this ahead of time, but I actually found that there's the reason we don't hear from Zubaydah anymore, and the fact that she has disappeared for the most part, is because I believe she has managed to embark on an acting career in Hollywood. She has finally broken through. This is her appearance in the most recent Marvel TV show called Moon Knight. I believe you'll recognize her when you see her. There you go. As you can see, Zubaydah is there. She is. There she is. Finally broken through to. She finally broke through to Hollywood, people. That's right. This is her first starring role. She made it. She made it, everyone. She is now a bona fide Marvel Disney star. I couldn't help it. I had to do it.
Why do you have the urge to do that to Zubaydah?
It just came to me because I've been watching this Moon Knight series, and this was one of the episodes where this is a Egyptian hippo goddess.
Is that a real thing? Did they worship a hippo?
Yeah, because all the gods had heads of animals, like the Anubis was a dog or a jackal, and Ra was a sun god, of course. Then who else was there? Horus was an eagle and a hawk or whatever. And anyway, yeah, they did. Seth was, I think, like a wolf or a dog or something. So no, they all had Egyptian gods had like animal heads. But I think this was Zubaydah's big moment. She made it. She finally broke into Hollywood. All these years of struggling, all those years of Speaker's Corner speeches. She finally did it. And this is a North African Arab role as well, so it suits her well because she's a native Arabic speaker. So yeah, it all came together. Anyway, despite the fact that Manny doesn't want to laugh, I know he's laughing on the inside. I know you're laughing, Manny. I know you're laughing. Okay, the next clip, the actual real articles that I want to cover are Dave Chappelle being attacked on stage. He got rushed on stage. Let me just play a little clip of this. This is from Summit News, by the way. And apparently, that hit right there put the guy's shoulder out of its socket. He hit him so hard that he put his own arm out, because later on, when you come down, now there's a whole bunch of stuff. Dave Chappelle even makes a joke. He says that was a trans man, but when you actually see the guy getting put on a stretcher, look. I don't know if you can. Wait a minute. Let me just rewind that. Look at that. the man's arm is completely out of joint. I mean, this is all it's freaking awful. I don't know whether this happened afterwards when he got an ass kicking, or whether this happened when he actually hit him. I think he actually just popped his shoulder out when he hit Chappelle like that. Let me see if this one is better.
But why did he charge him in the first place?
Look at him. He can't look at his arm. His arms like that. He can't put his arms. I think his shoulder has popped out. I think it's his shoulder that's popped out. I mean, why did he charge him? Who knows? Who honestly knows? The man had a knife and a replica gun on him. This is another image of the assailant. I think he got I think that eye is not shut by itself willingly. I think he got a couple of knocks to the face too. I think they kind of did him in. I don't think this guy didn't walk away unscathed on this one. Even though Chappelle did say to his bodyguards, "Don't hit him, don't kick him," and all that when he was down. But yeah, you can see that this arm is not in a good way. Look at that! Holy shit! That is all bent right out of shape. So yeah. So that happened to Dave Chappelle. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't know the motives exactly. All we know is obviously Dave Chappelle is controversial. He said some things about the trans community, and maybe this was something to do with that. Who knows? But, you know, if someone like Dave Chappelle can get attacked on a massive stage like this with security all over the place, then things are looking a little bit hazy for comedians, man. Shit's getting real. Blame Russia.
Can I ask? Do you class yourself as a comedian?
Well, I have myself. I'm as they say, I'm a wannabe. I'm an aspiring or wannabe. I make some jokes occasionally. I mostly daydream about being a comic. It's what I would love to have done if I started earlier. But I don't know. I've never done a stand-up. I've never done
earlier. Your puberty.
Yeah, that's it. If I started puberty earlier, I can't stop laughing at my own jokes. That's the problem. As a comedian, that's like the worst thing you can do. You have to stop laughing at your own jokes. You have to like say the joke, just pan-faced. You know what I mean? No reaction from yourself. Me, I'm my own biggest fan. That's why I love me. So. Yeah, I can't stop laughing. But either way, as a soul, as a comedian in my soul, I feel connected to these guys, and so I feel that yes, it should be. I should call it out. So yeah. So what is your take on possibly future of comics if comics are going to get attacked like this?
Yeah, I think it's pretty disgusting actually, because when I was growing up, the main kind of dodgy ground to speak of was the whole racist jokes like Alf Garnett and things like that. But I used to find them funny anyway because they were funny. I didn't take them personally because it was comedy, and so I think it's a shame. I think it's kind of disgusting. But it's the left. This is what the left do. They destroy comedy and everything else that's good.
All right. Okay, moving on swiftly. Another subject of the day, and this is Angela Rayner and her sexy legs, apparently. This former council house occupier, I would say.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Just a guess. Just a shot in the dark. I take it back. A young lady who came up from a working class family and is truly the embodiment of the British dream or the American dream.
Can I share a secret with you?
Yeah.
Do you know what to say if you want to refer to somebody, with that type of insult? Do you know what you call them? You call them a DCT.
A DCT?
A dirty council house tramp.
Oh.
You don't literally go out
in your coat. Is that like what I would say, like, Zubaydah, you DCT? That's the next time I'm going to approach her with. that's my next approach to Zubaydah is Zubaydah, you DCT. But anyway, yeah. As far as sorry, let me just do this. No, not that. That's a bit better. Yeah. So our dear working class lady who has been an inspiration to us all, so brave, so beautiful, who has made it through a working class background, collecting gyros all the way to the Houses of Commons, and she's in a way, I mean, in all seriousness, she is the embodiment of, like, anyone can make it in this country kind of thing. I mean, she should be an inspiration to working class people. That there you go. If you lie enough, you too can sit in the Houses of Commons. Just depends on how much you lie, and if you're willing to do certain things. So anyway, the point of this whole thing is that Angela Rayner. There was a story in the Mail that came out talking about how some of the men in the House of Commons talked about how she purposefully wears short skirts so that she can cross and uncross her legs in order to throw Boris Johnson off his rhythm, his game on the during Prime Minister's Question Time. Now, she herself, this later on came out after her faux outrage, after her oh woe is me, I can't believe everyone is so misogynistic. This was her on was it Claire what that Scottish woman, there you go, Lorraine Kelly's show. Now, I'm not going to play the sound due to copyright issues, but I'm just going to give you a little. This was her sitting in, and she wore a full suit in this one. So she is capable of and does own actually suits that cover her legs. So, that's something to be said first and foremost. Second of all, look at Lorraine. Look at the skirt that she's wearing, because she is an elderly woman. She's a woman of some years, and she's been a prominent TV figure for a long time. And she recognizes that this is the decorum of a lady. This is what ladies do. I'm a lady. I do lady things. And so her legs are shown to some extent, but generally, nicely covered like an elegant person should. Angela Rayner, she's here faux outraging about the fact that, oh, these misogynists, where is my pearls? These misogynists are talking about how terrible it is for me to wear short skirts. No, it's not, because it came out that she herself was the one who started the rumor. She started bantering with the men in the I don't know, I guess the Houses of Parliament pub or whatever the hell they have there. After a few glasses of sherry, I personally believe she drinks pints, but nevertheless, she started talking about how she flashes her ginger growler at Boris in order to throw him off. She started the fucking rumor. It wasn't men who did it. Men just simply quoted her to the Mail. It was herself who started this bollocks. She was the one who wanted to just have a little bit of a joke and a banter, and then when he came out on a major newspaper, she clutches her purse and claims misogyny. This is such bullshit. But anyway, I just wanted, as a contrast, show you another lady of the that attended Parliament quite regularly some time ago, Margaret Thatcher, in fact, the Prime Minister of this country. If you notice, that's a lady's outfit. That's an elegant way of dressing. I mean, this is not even in the Houses of Parliament. This is in her house or somewhere, probably, maybe in 10 Downing Street. But nevertheless, yes, love, you can wear skirts that go below your knees. In fact, that is what you should be wearing if you're in the Houses of Commons. You don't dress up as some Ibiza-toting tart like you're in Pasha or, I don't know, Ayia Napa, down at your Hard Rock cafes, getting jiggy with it with I don't know, what was that guy's name? Craig David songs or whatever the hell kids, drill raps. I don't know what the fuck kids are dancing to these days. This is not your Ayia Napa, your Ibiza, event. Wear a skirt. Look at literally the lady next to her. Look at the skirt she's wearing. Look at the clothes the other ladies are wearing. The one behind her. It's not like she's alone in the Houses of Commons as a woman. There's plenty of women who wear elegant below the knee skirts, and that's how it should be. But she chose to wear this. She then goes to the pub, gets, tipsy on a couple of baby shams, starts talking about her ginger growler, and then pretends that she's shocked and outraged when the same men literally told a Mail on Sunday or a Daily Mail reporter, yeah, this is what she does. She told us this. And then they start screaming misogyny from the men. This is such bullshit hypocrisy. Anyway, Manny, your thoughts before we wrap it up?
I think you're being a little bit harsh. I think the outfit's quite cool.
Look. She's not in your VIP sections drinking your single malts down at your local hotel bar. Okay, she's not at the Ritz bar trying to flash her ginger growler at you. This is the Houses of Parliament. I don't care how many single malts you buy her, Manny. It's not enough.
Ha ha ha. All right. What's your next item, young man?
That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving it at that because I think I'm going to overplay my hand on this one. There is a little clip. Now, this is George Galloway. Now, George Galloway is a bona fide number one buttfuck. I mean, he is cheese cum as cheese cum can get. I despise this man on so many levels. It's unbelievable. But in this bit, and in this 1 minute and 30 seconds, this man truly shines, and I think we should share this.
We can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No.
Ah, damn it, I think I forgot to share... hold on. Let me share my screen with sound. I think I forgot to click yeah. Okay, let's have a go at that again. Ready, steady, go.
And this cancel culture is undoubtedly the province of what calls itself, at least, the left. Now, I think it's laughable for Starmerites to describe themselves as socialists and so on, but I don't care very much about them. What I do care about is that if you censor people, then how can you possibly know that the course you're following is the right one? If this censorship had been applied in the run-up to the Iraq war, then I would have been unable to tell people that Tony Blair was leading us to disaster in Iraq. The Labour leader is going to end up killing millions of people and sowing extremist Islamism all over the world. It would have been impossible for me to do that. I'd have been banned, shadow banned, cancelled. Can't you see where I'm coming from in this? Unless you know the point of view of all of the ideas and people who have those ideas, you can't know that your ideas are the right one. You can't know that the policy your government is following is the right one because you haven't heard the alternatives.
All right. So
Raj is talking out of his backside. He wants to come on. He's just basically begging in a nice way. Shall we get Raj on? What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, it's entirely up to you, as long as it doesn't throw you off your game, because I know you had some subjects you want to cover.
Well, we could always chuck him off.
No, yeah, I mean, if Raj wants to jump on, let's put him on, and then just have him just chill for a minute until you go through your... And we'll get his take on the things you're going to cover as well.
All right, well, let's start with that, and you can join in. Let me share
because
my screen.
I know Raj may not be on for very long. You know, he normally has to crack one out every 15 seconds to Angela Rayner's leg pictures.
Okay, well, he's jumped on. So let's see if it's him. Raj, is that you?
Thanks, for allowing me the pleasure of allowing Manny to talk over me. And Yes, I just want to say thank you, Banksy, for your compassion to us lowly people in the chat.
You're an artiste now, aren't you?
An
Or are you
artiste,
just
yeah,
a
yeah.
piss artiste?
No, I'm actually really like hanging around with a lot of. I've been to like 4 exhibitions now. So yeah, I've been walking around like chatting to artists. It's a bit of a weird world, man. How's your
Big
pet?
up, big up.
You heard you got a new pet?
Pet.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the hair,
Under your
aren't
head,
you?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
mentioning the hair. Yeah, it's the
Look
hair.
at that! It looks good, man. Well done,
It's
man.
totally
It makes-
horrible. I haven't combed it properly.
Seriously, like I'm happy for you, man, because I think like losing your hair young, man, is hard. So being able to
I know,
do that,
man. I know.
It suits you. I remember you showed me a picture when you was younger. You look like Tom Cruise, and unfortunately, the balding look here just doesn't suit anyone really, unless you got a really good head.
It's only black men mostly seem to get away with it. Admittedly, Joe Rogan does all right with it. But
Can I say something to you now? Yeah, like if I had a nose job, yeah, and then everyone said, "Oh, Raj, before your nose was really messed up," I wouldn't mind it. So I just want to say your head, yeah, was a bit of an odd shape without the hair on.
I know, because my back of my head is really flat. My head isn't like fully round.
Do you know what it looked like? It looked like
So
out of have you seen when they misshapen people's heads with planks in the old days? And then it elongates like that, so they look like the aliens. It's a bit like that.
Thank you for.
I feel like I can say it now because you look good now.
You feel like you can say that.
Yeah,
You've been holding back all this time.
Yeah, I hope all this time. I don't want to upset you, man. Because it's a sensitive topic, isn't it, man? It really is. I mean, I know we're joking about it, but people losing their hair can really, really destroy people's kind of confidence and lives.
I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, it has never affected my dating life. That's one thing that's quite strange.
But you don't know until you're here. Now you might be a mega babe magnet now. And what's holding you back was your hair.
Well, no. You see, the reason I can say that is because in my 20s, when you saw that picture of me at like 19, 20, and I had the full head of hair and slim waist and all of that, I was terrible at talking to women. I couldn't pick up a woman to save my life. The few women that, did have sex with me and go out with me were literally because they were the ones who made all the moves. I didn't make any moves because I had no idea. I was terrible. So when I had the look, I didn't have the confidence and the skills to talk to women. And actually, when I lost the look, I lost the hair and I gained the weight, I actually discovered ways of actually having more confidence to actually talk to women. So I actually got more women as a bald man than I did as a guy with hair.
But now you've got the combination, haven't you? The magic combination. The hair and the thingy. So we don't know, you might be the new baby.
So
Banksy's House of Fun is open.
Give us some of your favourite chat-up lines, Banksy.
Oh, my favorite chat up lines are
50 quid or 30 quid? That's probably
beautiful flower. Tie hole. No, I mean, as far as chat-up lines are concerned, there are no chat-up lines, but there is a few that I have heard. One of them was my friend actually did these. He went around a nightclub asking girls, have you seen a little canary? And they're like, what? He said, yeah, I've lost my canary. Have you seen a little canary? He goes, why you have a canary in here? He goes, because I heard it's easier to get in here with a bird. And then there's a bunch of like really bad ones where my friends would just do it just to take the piss, and it's like, oh, you're all right, love. You like you like diamonds, because my family jewels are right here.
So with the hit, so did you go over to? Sorry, man, if I've derailed it, but I have been wanting to talk to him about his hair. I jumped on Jedi's and he legged it. I think he knew I was going to ask him about the hair.
Who, me?
Yeah, I know you didn't leg it, but I just didn't find it appropriate to talk about. I was still going to ask you. I thought, nah, let's not go.
All right. Yeah, no, I just muted because
here, man.
No, it wasn't that. It was the conversation was boring, and I had other things that suddenly came up, so I had to mute myself and attend to the other things. So that's why it wasn't really conversing. And then there's so many other people that talk all the time on Jedi's. It's hard to get a word in edgeways because there's so many people.
Are you firing shots at me?
Why? Oh no!
That talks.
Well, no. It was. I mean, you were talking, but it was Maku, and you know what I mean. And the conversation was already ongoing. So if you came in and
No,
started
you didn't
talking
miss
to
nothing.
me,
You didn't miss nothing. You turned into a right shit show afterwards.
yeah, I thought
Yeah,
so.
went downhill.
It was just boring. So I just slowly, I just had to leave. But I knew that if you wanted to talk to me, though, it would be a bit weird when there's already a conversation going, and then you jump on and go, "Hey, Banksy, how about your hair?" And then the people
Yeah, I
are
know.
like,
That's why I didn't do it. That's why, see, I do know boundaries.
yeah,
Like I wanted to do it. I really did, and I thought, no, it's not a safe space, in it. Like if I open that, like here, I can do that, and I know Manny knows the joke. I know the joke, and you're not gonna like when you go somewhere else. It's like, look, I'm learning, in it. I'm learning how to kind of like
you're picking up those
navigate,
social cues.
Yeah, I've been to like 4 exhibitions, art exhibitions. I'm going to another one on Friday. I've been going by myself at the beginning because these are smaller ones. But when I'm going to go to the city and stuff, then I'll ask you guys to maybe
Are you
come
going
down with me.
just to visit, or are you going to actually showcase your stuff?
No. What it is, I'm going there to originally just to kind of like meet other artists, and I've met some good artists, man, some good people and stuff. So slowly, I'm trying to network and get to know. I've already found an art gallery down the road from me in Hackney. Never heard of it. It's just
Bloody
down
hell.
the road, 20 minutes, and they've got an exhibition tomorrow. So all I'm doing is just slowly ingratiate myself with people.
Raj,
complimenting them.
can we cover it with cameras and stuff?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I'm going to be exhibiting at some point, but I have to wait until I kind of like get a bit of cash in the bank because it costs quite a lot of money to exhibit. You have to pay a certain amount and all that kind of stuff. So,
Okay.
How much is it?
don't worry about how much it is. But I tell you what, yeah, artists are quite interesting people. I've mellowed out since I've been hanging around with artists. I think I'm not as agitated. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the people that you kind of talk to are a bit more
It's
mellow.
the subject matter, dude. It's the subject matter. If you go down Speaker's Corner, what are you talking about? Islam, jizya, I'm paying this. No, you're not paying that. Oh, your children will be Muslims. No, your children will be apostates. It's an aggressive and sort of highly tense environment.
And
It's
it carries
not a
over
relaxing
to
environment.
your life and real life because that agitation
can do.
kind of carries on. Yeah, I mean, it did with
Yeah.
me. Now, when I'm kind of like speaking to, I mean, there's some weird people that are out there, man.
But yeah, I mean, look, I was the thing was I was actually on Saturday walking around London recording some footage for another thing that I'm doing, and I came across the Dawa boys from Speaker's Corner in Leicester Square because they do Dawa at the weekends there. Their attitude and their conversations were like 100% different to the ones that they have in Leicester Square in Speaker's Corner. And the other thing was, I told one of the lads, I said, one time in the day that Zubaydah attacked me from behind, actually at that moment I was talking
behind,
to.
did she? With what?
Yeah, she came from behind, didn't she? With like a pretend. I guess she tried to egg me, but anyway, fuck that. But I was talking to an Afghani guy that day, and in fact at that moment, and the guy was saying to me, because he was very aggressive and he was really challenging Hatun. He was really like arguing with Hatun. Later on, he was telling me in Farsi, look, I'm not even that religious. It's just the way she comes at you, she makes you want to defend your religion and she makes you, aggressive. So it's the attitude that others put out in Speaker's Corner that makes you more angry and makes you more
Well, the
defensive.
thing is, this is why I've said that religion isn't for Speaker's Corner. I think religion shouldn't be. I mean, if you look at the way people preach outside of Speaker's Corner, like you said, it's very, very different. Like Speaker's Corner is more about winning and losing, and when you're talking about religion, I think it should be more about, genuinely trying to kind of like teach people, innit, about your faith and stuff. So that's why I said to Sikhs, there's no point going. And the guy called Bhai Jugaraj Singh, R.I.P. He went there for like 3 times, and he come to the same conclusion. He was smart enough to say, look, this place isn't for religion. It's more of a
it's very toxic
one-upmanship of the next person.
Yeah,
sorry,
and
Manny,
also
we
showmanship.
had your conversation, man. What did Manny want to kind of like?
Can I show you both something very quickly?
It's not chemtrails, is it? Please, I beg you, man.
Yeah, he's always got that. He's always got that shit.
I'm really happy that you guys are here. Actually, 1 minute.
He's always.
I saw a bit of your thing on
trails.
Saturday. It looked a bit dull, actually.
Sunday.
Yeah, not as good as your artwork, mate. Here you go.
Residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase rain. Hydro Tasmania has confirmed it flew a cloud seeding flight despite the weather warnings. Farmers believe the technique could have made the flooding worse. The Premier says a formal inquiry will be held into the effects and handling of the floods if it's necessary.
That was
Yeah, I
interesting.
don't dispute that. I mean, I don't know whether you want me to. I agree. There are machines out there. We've seen them. Where I mean, China has created a fake sun that literally can have the same kind of like power as a sun for 1 second. It doesn't last long, but they've managed to do it.
What does that? What does this say underneath this image? Can anybody see what it says?
On troweling in action.
It says they bukkake the air with their chemtrails.
Bukkake clouding in action.
Bukkake session in action.
Because
There's like 50
it states
aeroplanes
here,
out there all spraying
it
it.
states here, cloud seeding in action. Now, guys, I would say this looks like a chemtrail. What would you say? Coming out of the jet engine.
Nanotechnology and rainmaking.
Yeah.
But they're making rain. Okay, what is wrong about making rain when there's people in Africa who can't have food?
I accept your apology.
I never said there was no chemtrails or chemtrails or cloud seeding. I never said there was no such thing.
I know what this is all about.
So what we were saying is this: that look, no one's saying there isn't no chemtrail, but what you're making out is this for nefarious reasons only.
Exactly.
Now, what we can say is that we understand there is such a thing as a chemtrail, but it can also be used for good. Like if there's a barren wasteland and you can't get rain there, then putting a machine there that can kind of create water would be a benefit, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Guys, look at this. Look at this. Right. This is how unbelievable some of these organizations are. So this is a picture a pilot took or whoever took it on a Virgin Australia flight. Obviously, these are not clouds, right? Obviously, right? But it says here, flying above the clouds has never looked this good. These incredible cloud formations were seen on board the blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on. How can these be clouds? These are the, as what you guys just call them.
White cocaine, snorting cocaine. No one's saying, look, you're chucking the baby out with the bathwater kind of situation. We're not saying that you have no validity to your argument. It's just that you don't want us to question your validity. So you're the same type of person who says don't question everything, but don't question me. And that's what I'm saying. We're questioning
now on something serious, right? Now on something serious.
See how he changed the subject. Well, I'll answer then. So if I have to question everything, should I not question you as well?
Mm-hmm.
When did I say don't question me?
Yeah, but you get very
presenting evidence,
kind of like touchy, innit?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, getting all up in your feels.
Is this Raj? Can you feel it? This is what it feels like to be put in your place. It hurts. It hurts.
I don't feel it. I don't feel in any place. I'm still in the same place I started before this conversation.
I need to put the camera on now, man, just so I can start shooting you up, innit?
Banksy, Raj, game over. Okay, no, seriously, I do want to share something serious. So Raj mentioned when did we go to London, Banksy?
Sunday.
So Raj mentioned the stream, and Raj, obviously we were in a left politics parade, so it was a bit dull.
It was May Day.
I'm going to say
Workers Unite.
I'm going to say something crazy. Even though I was taking the mick while I was there and calling them communists and stuff like that, I actually met some really nice people, and it just reminded me that how important it is to always look for the balance and always look for the good and not just for the bad in people. I know that you go that saying, but I didn't mind being there, and it was just as friendly as being on a conservative march. And what it is, even though I don't agree with their politics, I definitely see the humanity in these people, and just like those of us who are on the right, they want the betterment of the country and for people as well. However, I'm going to share this interview with you, and I'll stop it at the point where I'll show you how brainwashed these people are.
So we represent a social media platform called Speakers Corner Online. It's essentially based on the free speech attributes of Speakers Corner. So perhaps you could introduce yourself and tell us why you're here.
So I'm here basically because I'm a student up in Bath, and this is the first opportunity I've had in a long time to come to a major rally. Being from a working class background, May Day is the ideal place to be.
Okay, so the reason why I spotted you from a distance, you're holding a communist flag. So obviously this is Britain, this is England, this is a democratic country where we exercise our free speech and we vote for who we want to vote. So by you holding the communist flag, is that to say that you're standing against democracy?
Quite the opposite. The communist system operates on a proletarian government, which is a government of the people, which is made up of working people, run on the interests of working people, and the electorate is the people elected are made up from those working people.
But let's just take China, for example. Nobody elects that government. They just replace each other.
No, they have an electoral system. They have, I think, it's a five-tier government going from national down to regional. So they have a very democratic system, which is why the Communist Party over there has millions of members.
Okay, so who's the opposition to the Communist Republic Party, whatever they're called in China? Who's the opposition party?
It really depends. So the Communist Party has opposition within itself as well, which
is he joking?
Is that opposition isn't actively militant?
No, he's not.
So
No, he's not.
Wishes to be opposition is allowed to be opposition. I'm a bit bad with names, so I can't remember the name exactly of.
So are you saying opposition as a party, but the people kind of fight against each other? Not fight, but they're up against each other in getting votes.
Well, in a way, like any functioning democracy is, you have to put your point of view across. There is, opposition to certain things and what have you. As opposed as in regard to the who opposes the ruling party of China as a party. Again, I'm not so good with names, but there are, debates in the Chinese Communist Party. There are, factions who might disagree, and then that's sort of resolved on the basis of what's best for the collective many.
Okay, so what about things like members of the party disappearing, put in jail and then executed? Does that type of thing worry you?
You mean the same people who are apparently executed and then reappear months later?
And the ones that don't reappear.
So which ones, for example?
Again, I'm like you. I'm not sure of the names, but when you see,
I did remember the name. It was Wo Ching Wo. I'm only joking. That was a bad joke.
That is unbelievable, man. If I was there, I might have literally what are you talking about? A communist one-party state is a functioning democracy.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
It's like the most oxymoron thing you can say. It's not a function. Just admit it.
Dude, it gets worse. Let's carry on.
Well, it shows you this guy looks like he's a good dude. Probably feels like he's doing good under communism, and he knows nothing, man.
This is exactly the same as when you hear some of these Islamists defend the Iranian regime. Right. Oh, Iran has elections. Oh, we have elections all the time. They had a different president all the time. Iran is a democratic republic. Officially, Iran is an Islamic republic. That's the official name of the country, but there's nothing republic about it. It's bullshit.
Okay, let's carry on because it gets worse, and I'll stop it when he goes completely. What he says is crazy.
There's never in politics. There's never any smoke without fire, right? So we have to say that some of those stories are definitely true.
It really depends. So, which people, for example, do you mean disappeared and were executed? Because there are some people who are imprisoned, obviously, as in any country, and then the charges are whatever they are. Again, I'm not the best verse on Chinese politics. For example, they're billionaires. We get a lot of stories about their billionaires disappearing and being executed and things like this. But again, they reappear really quickly. And the system that China has surrounding, for example, their billionaires, is that there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of legislation to keep them from overstepping, to keep them from becoming corrupt and things like this. So it really does take a lot of damaging action for, say, a billionaire to disappear. And we get a lot of those stories from, unsurprisingly, Western sources, which are the key opposition to China.
Yeah, so the last story I actually heard was one of the corrupt billionaires that he spoke to that turned politician, and he was executed. That was confirmed by the Chinese news reports. But let's move on. It's obviously one of those subjects that we're both indirectly saying that news sources are not always accurate from China, or generally, certainly not in Britain either. Yeah. So let's move on in regards to this. So would you be happy for the same system that they have in China to be implemented here in the UK?
The Chinese system simply can't be implemented here because the conditions are so different. And that's the kind of the key tenet of, say, Marxist or socialist politics, is it adapts very specifically to the conditions of a country that it's applied to. So which is why it's so different in Laos, for example, which is a Marxist-Leninist run country. China, very different to that. The DPRK, again, very different to that. Communist Russia, the Soviet Union or Communist Russia, again, very different again. So for a communist system to work here, it would have to be adapted specifically to our conditions.
But would you like that?
I wouldn't be opposed to it personally, yeah. Because as I said, the communist system operates on a proletarian government, which is many-tiered. It's core, run by the people and for the people.
So under a communistic system, from my understanding, there wouldn't be any room for a royal family. So those of you that are supporting a communistic system, are you not committing treason?
I suppose it depends on your definition of treason. If you mean treason by betraying the royal family, arguably, yeah. But if you mean treason by betraying one's country, probably not, no.
So would you say, on average, those people with your political opinion would be anti-royal family?
Yeah, we're very much, well, as far as I know, very much for the abolition of the royal family, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for being honest. I mean, that's the start of every good conversation. So, in terms of capitalism, can I assume that you are anti-capitalist?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's just talk about tax very briefly. So, organizations, private organization, corporations employ people, and those people go ahead and pay taxes, which then are paid for, towards teachers, nurses, or NHS in this world. So in your communistic utopia, if you like, or idea in your head, how would that work?
Okay, so I think it's first important to address the idea of a communist utopia. Engels actually wrote a text called Socialism, Utopian and Scientific, where he kind of dismisses the idea of utopian socialism. So so communists ideally aren't utopians. Because a utopia is, the perfect system for absolutely everyone ever. And nobody is ever realistically going to achieve that. However, we do believe it's the best system or a better system. And in regards to taxes, we believe that the working class is taxed too much, even, on an individual basis and proportionally. So a tax-funded system is, by and large, a better system, because then the funds go directly to where it's needed to go, as opposed to a system that we have now, where the working class are taxed so much that, they're struggling to make ends meet daily, and this was true 5 years ago, let alone now, while the rich barely pay any proportion of their wealth in tax. And our taxes go to fund, unsurprisingly, government like the Conservative government. So under a communist tax system, the wealth would be distributed to where it needs to go.
Does it worry you that more people have died under communism than any other type of political regime?
But it hasn't, though.
Now, if you look into the Chinese history and Mao and what happened in China, not the history that they want you to believe, but the actual impartial history, does that at least worry you?
Again, we have to look at where we're getting the information from.
Stop. Did you see that? Did you hear that? So categorically, everybody that's read a history book or not knows, even from Chinese own sources, nobody has killed more people. Yeah. And I mean, this is Washington Post. I mean, they're practically communist anyway. But both Hitler and Stalin were outdone by Mao Zedong, the communist, not the creator, but he took it forward.
Oh, wasn't Cambodia also communist?
Sorry?
Cambodia?
What about Cambodia?
Because they had mass atrocities in Cambodia, Vietnam.
Yeah, but it didn't lead up to 45 million people dying, did it?
But I'm just saying, when you combine everything together, we know on paper communism sounds great, but it's one of those things that can never work. Anytime anyone's tried to implement it, it doesn't work. I mean, even China, you should have said to me what you're talking about. China is a capitalist system but with a communist government. Like they are capitalists.
Exactly. They have an open market system.
Yeah,
They have a
they
capitalist
even
system.
said that we need to mix it. That you can't just run communism by
Yeah.
itself. Like it doesn't
Well,
work.
China was literally dying because of it. That's what happened to the Soviet Union. They fell apart because they didn't adopt a hybrid system. China was smart enough to adopt the hybrid system before its communist power structure fell apart. Whilst Russia, unfortunately, their power structure fell apart.
They started way early, like in the 80s. They started to start to go into and start slowly. But the thing is, these kind of people, I think they're genuinely they're good people. I think they think they're trying to help people, but they're so deluded. They're the type of person that thinks that I'm going to do good, but they end up doing more harm.
Exactly. I mean, this is unfortunately the concept. I mean, he was saying like, oh, no one can achieve utopia, but his whole concept is a utopian type of concept. Everything, his whole philosophy is a utopian philosophy. If that wasn't the case, then you would actually be looking at it objectively and say, even China is not first of all, none of these countries are communists. Communism, none of them have attained the level of communism. They're all
work.
socialists.
It's like Sharia. Like there's no country in Sharia because it can't work.
Because it just simply doesn't work. It cannot fully be implemented. So no country has ever attained true communism. And those who are supposedly quote unquote communist countries are actually socialist nations with like socialist republics or dictatorships most of the time, like North Korea, even China. But China again realized that they have to adopt open markets. They have to allow for open markets. Otherwise, the whole country, the whole regime is going to fall apart.
The only country that you could probably say is try to implement is North Korea. And look at the state of it compared to South Korea. I mean, South Korea and North Koreans are the same exact people. One side is the most prosperous, most forward-thinking country in the world, safest country in the world. And on its border, and it's probably one of the best experiments in a bad way.
Yeah.
To show you how one system just cannot work.
Well,
they live in poverty. You have to turn the lights off at night.
It's literally South Korea is a first world nation, technologically and industrially advanced, and North Korea is a third world nation. I mean, straight up, it's like those are the exact contrasts. And a lot of people say, this the great thing about communism is that we can all be poor together, we can all starve together.
I mean, the thing is, look, like I think Winston Churchill said that, I don't remember what he said. It's democracy and secularism and capitalism is not the best. It's perfect, but it's the best system we've got. Like,
exactly.
Out of all of them, it's the better system. It doesn't mean it's perfect. There's a lot of problems with it. But compared to fascism, compared to communism, that's the thing
is, the irony that most of these communist socialist types don't realize is when they were standing on that stage with their flags, with their banners and all that. No. It's not that they couldn't do that. Everything that they have is due to capitalism. The clothes they wear, the little flag that he was holding was some capitalist made that shit. That little extendable pole that he has. Everything, his cap, his shirt, his shoes, everything is due to capitalism.
How the best way to test these guys is say, when we say like, just go to a communist state and live there, then let's see if you can live it. Because it's all hunky-dory to go from the West and say, oh, we believe this is the best system, but let's see if you can actually really live in that system.
Yeah, like look at this picture of these women of the choir. Now the microphones that they have are all little wireless microphones that were made. I guarantee you, they bought them either on Amazon or some capitalist shop.
Do you know what I see them as? Like, they're a bit like the flat earthers. I don't think they believe in anything, but they just like trolling people.
No. These people believe.
Oh, they truly believe it.
Oh, they are true believers.
Don't get me wrong.
There will probably be mixed amongst them. The people who are like, well, no, not everything, but a lot of these guys, they believe the shit they believe. That little guy, that young lad, he believes it. He believes it right now. And in all honesty, though, this is the other thing that the saying quite often quoted is, if you are young in your 20s and teens and you are not a communist socialist, then you have no heart. And if you are old in your 40s plus and you're not a capitalist, then you have no brain. So in a way, it is a heartfelt thing. When you're young, you're idealistic because you never paid a bill, because you don't have a mortgage, because everything in your life has been provided for you. You are literally have been raised in a socialist scenario where everything gets paid for you by some overlord, overseer, which is namely your parents. So of course you're going to think this system is fucking awesome. I love this system. My parents pay for everything and I do nothing. Let's have this for everyone. But when you get older, when you actually are now the parent, now you're the one who's paying the mortgage, paying the bills, then of course you're going to go, no, I don't want some fucking government to come and take everything I worked my ass off to get. Just take it off me and claim it for itself. I worked my ass off to make this business, to make this corporation, to do this, to do that. No one came and handed it to me. Most people who made their money know what it's like and how hard they work to get their money, to make their life the way it is. And so, no, they're not going to give it to some bureaucratic fucking system. I'm not going to give up my fucking hard work, blood and sweat, because some bureaucrat says, no, we have to share it amongst everyone. Fuck those lazy cunts. If they wanted to get this shit, they should have worked 30 hours, 60 hours a week.
Look, I believe everyone should be treated equally, but not everyone is equal, unfortunately. Some people are just freaking like look at Elon Musk. Like, I mean, how many people are like Elon Musk? He's got Tesla's the number one car company now, SpaceX. He just bought Twitter. I mean, what do you think of his Twitter buy then?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a massive Elon Musk fan. I think a lot of like Tesla, he didn't invent Tesla. He bought Tesla. The only thing Elon Musk actually has invented was with him and his partner was PayPal. And apparently some people say he even bought PayPal, the basic code, from someone else. And then they just developed it. So
yeah, but
I'm not a massive he is a genius god and he does everything right.
Let me explain my situation here. I don't really care about Tesla. I don't really care about PayPal. All I really am interested in is what he's done with SpaceX. Like this SpaceX, if you look at a documentary I recommend you watching a documentary on Netflix, and you can see he built a company from the ground up that has now revolutionized the space industry. It used to cost £1 billion to send one, I think it was 800 million to send one astronaut up to the space station every time. He's now cut that cost to 40 million per person with reusable. So in terms of that, that's where I see him as a genius. The rest of the stuff, I agree. Tesla, I don't think he created. He bought it from somebody, or he just joined after PayPal. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, the thing is, again, when you start delving into all his different companies, the Boring Company with his Hyperloop is a total nonsense. That a guy called Thunderfoot has been destroying the Hyperloop for years now. First of all, he didn't even come close to inventing it. Literally in 1998, a Swiss company was made commercials for a Hyperloop in 1998 before Elon Musk. Hyperloop, he wanted to make this thing where it was an underground super fast 500 miles an hour train that would take you from
he's got that
from
for
one
the
city to
SpaceX,
another.
so he's got a direct link.
Because in the 1980s, but in the 1980s they already had developed reusable rockets that would land themselves. There's a video out. Again, I would recommend check out Thunderfoot. I think it was NASA, but they actually did already, because you got to realize NASA was already thinking about reusable products when it comes to their space agency. What do you think the space shuttle was? The space shuttle was made to be reusable, but it wasn't made to go outside of low Earth orbit. It was made for low Earth orbit because Hold on. Let me finish this. The reason they made the shuttle was, and the reason they got the go-ahead from the American government was that, yes, you can have a reusable rocket, reusable shuttle, but you have to put our spy satellites in it for the most of the trips. So you have to basically be a courier for our space for our spy satellites. That's the reason American government and the agencies gave them the budget.
Let me clarify. I'm not saying let me clarify, because I probably stated what I meant. They weren't the ones that actually created what's called a reusable rocket. They were the ones that made it affordable. Yeah. So when you look at the space shuttle, it was costing them £1 billion to when the space shuttle come down. It took 6 months for them to refurbish everything, get everything back up to scratch that they could resend it. So it cost $1 billion. Now what they're doing, they're sending people into space for less than 100 million. So it's about the reusability and the cost factor.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
and it's much more safer as well now. I recommend you watching on, you got Netflix, isn't it?
yeah. I can
Go watch
grab
the
that.
documentary about the beginning stages of SpaceX, where it nearly went bankrupt like 5 times.
The thing is, number one, SpaceX is heavily subsidized by the American government and
No,
NASA.
by NASA.
They are, but
you have to
NASA
win
is
that-
the American
No, but
government.
you have to win that contract.
Yeah.
Boeing's in there. There's loads of other companies that are vying for that.
Yeah, even Elon,
including
even
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Bezos is
So
blue,
they have to,
something.
they have to. It's not like they're just giving them the money. They're proving they can do the job, and then the money's given to them. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, the money is given to them because the American government wants something from them. They're not giving it to them for nothing. They want them to then use those rockets and shuttles for various different other projects, which I'm sure that the American government.
Go to the moon. They're going to go to the moon in 2025.
No, I don't know, but it's more to do with probably arms and spy and surveillance issues. But nevertheless, the main thing about SpaceX or the reusable rocket thing is that yes, they have made it cheaper, but the main thing for me is that they have rejuvenated the space industry again in America. NASA had practically come to a standstill for years after the sort of the moon landings and the sort of that period, and then they did the space shuttle for a while, and then they had a few accidents with the space shuttle, so they started to sort of pull. Yeah, exactly. So they started pulling back on that. So they did practically stopped sending people into space or pushing those frontiers anymore. Russia was sending more people to space than
I mean,
America
only
was
until
at one
recently
stage.
now they've stopped using this Russian Soyuz capsule, whatever it is. It's one of their space shuttles.
Yeah.
Now they're going to use SpaceX. But for me personally, look, man, anything to do with space, and if I believe, I believe without Elon Musk, we would. I mean, look, they're taking about going back to the moon in 2026, and he wants to put 1 million people on Mars by 2050. I mean, I don't know if that's
I think that's because the thing is, again, Elon Musk's. If you look at the stuff he claimed about the Hyperloop, the stuff he claimed about the semi trucks of Tesla trucks, the stuff he's claiming about.
the one that with the window broke.
No. That's the Cybertruck. That was some bollocks. No, I'm talking about semi-articulated trucks, but electric Tesla trucks, which he was promoting as being available by 2019. They still are not available. And this is 2022 now. So they found that these were not viable, and the fact that diesel engines actually go further and longer, and you can haul more than you can with electric Tesla trucks.
And you can put oil in there as well, sunflower oil and vegetable oil.
Well, yeah, I mean, diesel can do a lot of other shit,
man.
but generally, diesel trucks haul more than. Because you got to realize, a Tesla truck not only has to carry the weight of the whatever thing that the haulage, the products that it has to carry, it has to carry a shit ton of batteries. It weighs twice as much as your regular truck because of the batteries, and it doesn't have the longevity, the long distance travel as a diesel truck does. So the haulage company, the logistics companies didn't order any Tesla trucks. That's why it hasn't been launched, because the logistics companies looked at the real numbers, not the fake numbers that Tesla posted, but the real numbers between a Tesla truck and a regular diesel truck, and the Tesla truck doesn't even compare.
Cars are outperforming like Ford.
No, the cars is different. The car industry is a very different industry than the haulage industry.
Can I, before you go on, can I share something with you about Elon Musk?
Yeah.
It's not something chemtrails, is it?
Oh God.
He's not going to put chemtrails in the space shuttles.
Just do a bit of research. If you don't agree with it, then you can always defeat it.
Elon Musk exposed.
Pop culture has touted Elon Musk as some sort of eccentric heavyweight genius with humble beginnings. But this is demonstrably false. Elon Musk was born in South Africa, where he claims he grew up extremely poor, but his family owned an emerald mine. As a teenager, Elon would trade emeralds for cash in New York City, and his father bragged how they had so much money we couldn't even close our safe. Musk claims to have had about $100,000 of student loan debt, but he received a full scholarship to the University of Pennsylvania, where he bought a 10-bedroom frat house with his friend Adeo Ressi and ran an illegal nightclub. The pop culture claim is that Elon has an IQ of 155, but this has never been tested. and after being accepted into Stanford for PhD studies, he dropped out after 2 days. After dropping out, Elon began his first business venture with his brother Kimball, Zip2, which was essentially a digital version of the Yellow Pages. The brothers received tens of thousands of dollars from their parents, and yet Elon denies this. An associate of Elon's father, Greg Curry, got involved to bring in investors, but Elon's code was no good, so they had to hire on professional coders to rewrite everything. Zip2 was then sold for $307 million to Compaq, who later shut it down without ever earning a profit. Elon made $22 million, bought a $1 million McLaren F1 supercar, which made mainstream news, before he totaled the uninsured vehicle. Musk then went on to create an online bank, X.com. He partnered with banking expert Harris Fricker, Edward Ho, and Christopher Payne. All three ended up leaving the company after accusing Elon of lying to the media about the quality of their product. Elon claims he founded PayPal. Before the company was named PayPal, it was known as Confinity. It was founded in 1998 by Peter Thiel and Max Levchin. After losing millions of dollars, Elon's X.com was bought by Confinity in a merger in 2000. All Musk contributed at Confinity was his own power struggle. He made himself CEO and pushed to change the name to X.com. The executive team successfully petitioned to fire Musk while he was away on vacation. Part of Musk's resignation agreement stipulated that all references to founders of the company will be removed from their website, allowing Elon to claim credit, which so far is all he has ever achieved. Peter Thiel then rebranded the company as PayPal, went public, and sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Elon made $180 million from the deal, which he then invested into Tesla, SpaceX, and failed company SolarCity. Elon falsely claims to be the founder of Tesla. Tesla was founded in 2003 by Mark Tarpenning and Martin Eberhard, who developed the Tesla Roadster. When Tesla Motors began looking for venture capital, they approached Elon Musk, who had the fake credibility as PayPal's co-founder. Musk joined with the condition that he be named chairman of the board. In emails, Musk was upset that the media was not giving him credit for Tesla Motors and went after Martin Eberhard, replacing him as CEO. He then forced Eberhard out of the company and rewrote the company's history to have himself listed as an original co-founder. Martin Eberhard, the man behind the Tesla Roadster, was promised the first Roadster off the assembly line, but Musk screwed him over on that as well and sent that car into space.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
So who is Elon Musk? Elon describes his father as being an evil, abusive man. His father, Errol Musk, has been accused of being a pedophile and fathered a child with his stepdaughter, who is 42 years younger than him. This spoiled, narcissistic failure, son of accused pedophile, wants to put computer chips in everyone's brain so that we can merge with artificial intelligence. His girlfriend is now bragging how this could all lead to a communist utopia. And strangely enough, former Nazi and head of NASA, Werner von Braun,
I did a dissertation on him.
Elon,
You know that?
with Mars.
You did a what?
I did a whole dissertation on my final year for my product degree, engineering product design degree, because I was because they allowed Werner von Braun was basically a Nazi war criminal who created the V2 rocket. Even the rockets they were sending over to the UK to bomb in the war, and so instead of and he was doing these basically they will use slave labor to create these mega kind of like complexes, and thousands, probably millions of people died digging these complexes out into kind of like these hills and stuff like that, into mountains. And then once it was all over, instead of arresting him, all the Western Russia, everyone tried to get him because he was the one that created the first usable rocket. And so I did that with my final dissertation on Werner von Braun and how, basically politics overrid morality in terms of his engineering. Because obviously I did engineering as well, like basics. So yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Manny. When it comes to Elon Musk, all I really give a shit about is the SpaceX stuff. Like that's.
Well, have you seen Have you analysed the footage about SpaceX? It is fake as anything. It certainly looks fake to me. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it is fake. No, listen, I'm not saying it is fake. I'm just saying to me.
You got an echo, man. You got an echo.
Oh, sorry. Could that be me? Because I started sharing the screen, and maybe that's why. But
he's one of my people, isn't it? Did you know that?
South African.
No, he's on the. He's got Asperger's syndrome.
Oh yeah. He's on the spectrum, but yeah, this is Thunderfoot's channel. As you can see, he's not a massive fan of Elon Musk. He's put so many busted.
Oh, I'll watch these actually. Put the link in the side chat, please.
Yeah, there's so many. I don't want to labor it, but yeah, Elon Musk. There's when you peel back the curtain, you realize this man is not what he's a great salesman. And because he sold this Tesla thing so well, Tesla is valued. Now, this is the other thing that most people don't seem to understand. What a company is valued isn't what a company makes either in profits or in actual sales. It is simply a valuation of what the market thinks that this company is potentially worth. And so when... Yeah, exactly. And so when they say Tesla is worth X number of $1 trillion, and Elon Musk, because he has, I think, 20% of Tesla shares, he's worth 160 billion. That's
no 280. No, he's 280 now.
Is it 280? Okay, so
Bill Gates is 160. So he's
I see. But yeah, so whatever 280. Did you say 280 billion?
Yeah, it's something like 267 billion the last time.
Wow, no wonder he can buy Twitter for 44 billion.
So he's 100 million.
Pocket change to him. So what I'm saying is it's not that he actually has that money. It is simply the money based on how much Tesla is valued as a company by the market, which is actually a somewhat of an inflated value for Tesla, because Tesla isn't selling. I mean, Tesla only has 1% of the car market. They don't even have anything substantial.
So why is the news? When I saw some articles, reputable news agency saying that their cars are the number one selling cars worldwide.
They, when it comes to the overall car market in the world, Tesla has only 1% of that market. Not even. I'm going to
be honest with you. When it comes to Elon Musk, if you showed me a video that he's a reptilian, or that he's he's done something really crazy. Apart from, I don't really care, to be honest, as long as it's not pedophilia or murder.
No. I mean,
the only thing I'm interested in is what he's done. Because if you realize that they didn't really talk about SpaceX, his SpaceX thing is what I think is going to really, really distinguish him from other kind of billionaires. Because his SpaceX thing is totally revolutionizing the space industry. Like the rest of the stuff, you know what? He basically uses the other companies to fund SpaceX. That's his main project.
Yeah.
The other stuff he's doing it to make money.
How do you know? Have you done his accounts?
I haven't done his accounts, but I've watched lots of documentaries about when he first.
Oh right, okay.
No. Seriously, I'm not even joking. But when he first started up, his main thing was SpaceX, and then everything else was kind of going into funding SpaceX. So even these other companies nearly went bust a couple of times. Do you know what I've been watching recently? I don't know why, but the 2008 housing bubble thing. Like I don't know why. For some reason, I've got into the kind of the whole kind of economic collapse of 2000. I never really understood it until now. But it's crazy, man, how they were giving out loans to people that just basically couldn't afford them.
They were giving out 120% loans, mortgages. 120%.
Yeah, but I didn't understand because I don't really know about finance. I just assumed banks were the high street banks, but then you got lenders, you got investment banks, and then basically the lenders that were lending the money, they didn't give a shit because the investment banks were going to buy it anyway. Yeah, so whether the person could pay for it doesn't matter. And they thought they could still sell the houses afterwards, even if the person going to pay it and make a profit.
Because you can't exactly pick up your house and run away with it. A house is a guaranteed. Yeah. It's a guarantee for any bank. So really, any property is always beneficial for a bank to get someone to buy, because they'll first sign off on the debt and say that they'll take on the 200,000, 300,000 debt that house has effectively, and then the bank will take that 200,000, 300,000 pounds that you've signed that you'll pay back, and do through fractional reserve lending, lend out 10 times that amount that you just signed on. And if you can't pay off that money, they'll just come and take the fucking house. You're not going to pick up and run away with the house.
Yeah,
the
I
house
mean, from my understanding, because I didn't really know what predatory loan was. So what they were doing was they were going to poor areas and giving them a fixed interest for like 2 years. And then they didn't read the fine print that after 2 years, it could increase to any amount. So some of these loans were going from an interest rate of like quite low, like 2 or 3% or whatever, was going up to like 50% interest rate, like jumped up. That's why people lost all their homes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, there was all sorts of dodgy shit going on.
And most of those companies, apart from Lehman's, like, are just still here. I mean, they're literally crooks. But on a
because they
mega
got bailed out. Because they got bailed out by the.
But they knew
they
knew they could get bailed out because there's a saying that they're too big to fail.
Yep. Well, it wasn't just even too big to fail. Even what's his name? The guy who became prime minister after Tony Blair, the Scottish guy, Brown. He said it. He said, "Look, what do you want me to do? Do you want me for these banks to go bankrupt and then totally wipe out people's life savings, people's pensions? I've got 80-year-old. You're gonna explain to some 80-year-old lady that her pension is now gone because I let this bank fail and I let this bank collapse. Whose pension?
You know
was
what?
in
Yeah,
this
I
account.
didn't really understand about it, but I don't want to go too much detail about it. Somebody in my family has got a lot of money invested in these investment banks, and he's only now realized how freaking precarious it was for them. Like, luckily they didn't really invest in this bullshit because most of it was just kind of like fake, and they're just like, it's crazy, man. Like all these con men and stuff, and that they've just got away with it.
Yeah, the problem is
and they're doing the same shit again, but with something else. I've heard.
Yeah, the problem
it was the loans, the kind of like, what was it called, subprime loans, and then they're using something else to keep. It's like the .com bubble as well. Yeah.
And Raj, do you know there's a chap in the chat called Joe Baz? Is this guy from Speaker's Corner?
No, Joe Baz is a Muslim who keeps posting pro-Islamic shit to me on
Oh,
Twitter.
dump on Joe, you put that.
He's just a pro-Islamic guy who keeps. To be honest, I don't really say anything to him. I don't even block him on Twitter, but he just keeps posting pro-Islamic shit to me all the time.
Can you guys see my screen? Look at how many messages he sends or he adds me into something. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He's one of those gay guys that just obsessed with Manny and his haircut.
It's the same with me, man.
Gay! Wow, it's mad.
I think Joe Baz just spams us all with this crap. And to be honest, I just ignore it now. I don't
Why
even
do I
click
get
on
this attention from Joe Baz?
Look, it's him. It's just him. It's just one thing after another. What is this obsession?
He's got a
it
hard on for you, man.
Where is this?
I don't get
Look, it's Manny Cinder. Look, he keeps putting me in Manny Cinder.
Oh, God.
Manny Cinder.
Well, let me have a chance to talk and boot him, innit?
Sometimes he'll send me a message. I don't see it for weeks afterwards because obviously I don't use Twitter, and I have an account, but I don't post there.
Hey, dude, someone time out Sepid, that little bitch. Someone time out Sepid. He said I'm talking too much. Shut your mouth, you little cunt. Time him out, somebody, man. How dare he say something such a...
I say make him a mod.
No, time him out, the little bitch. Sepid, you little cunt.
Why? What's he said? That's so bad.
He said, "Oh, Raj, you talk too much. Shut your mouth when I talk, Hannah, you little bitch. Not like you sitting in your room, muttermaring, when you wanking, crying yourself to sleep, jizzing over the place like chemtrails, you little bitch."
He says to me, "Why don't I bring my caricature Islam on Sunday? Chill at Hamza's den." First of all, Hamza, I don't go on these Dawa channels panels because they're not there to have an honest conversation, and they'll just simply pretend that they've owned you in some way and then kick you off their panel as you expose them for the idiots that they are. So why would I even bother going there? I can't believe anyone would, any atheist, anyone of any clout would go on their shows.
Sepid is a woman. I'm sorry, Sepid. I apologize. I didn't know it was a woman.
I'm offended that he thinks I would either go onto that stupid channel.
I've watched that channel, and the thing is that they're extremely disrespectful to people that have gone. I mean, the way they treat Hindus. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie, Hinduism is a bit weird as well. There is a lot of crazy stuff in there. Not gonna lie, but if you're on a panel discussing stuff, and then you're mocking the Hindus, like the stuff they were saying was, the guy said your religion is stupid and bullshit. And then
Yeah.
if someone was to say that back about Islam, they would have been up in freaking arms. Yeah.
But the fact is that people do. It's just that they don't go on Hamza's den to tell them they're. I mean, why would? As I said, it's like if I would happily debate Hamza on any neutral ground. But I'm not going to do it on his show where
he's
he has
evil,
the
man.
power to kick you off the minute you start to own him. So fuck Hamza.
But he's
Hamza's
actually
an
evil.
idiot.
He's
Hamza
actually
literally
evil.
said the world was flat. He doesn't know if the world is round. You guys have seen that clip, right? Where Hamza says he doesn't know. It was Apostate Prophet posted it. I'll find it for you guys. He said. Well, because an ex-Muslim woman who's Arabic speaker who literally read the Arabic to him that says the world is flat, is an expanse and stretched out, and then in order to defend the Quran, Hamza proceeded to deny that he knows that the earth isn't flat. He thinks that the earth could be round,
I
could be flat.
spoke to him once at Speaker's Corner. Somebody said to me, "Oh, the beginning stages. I'll talk to this very learned Muslim convert." And I went over here, and I'm not joking. It was dark, and it was like he looked like a freaking shaitan, like a real devil. Like he had his gingerbread and his like eyes piercing. I started talking to him, and he was so rude. Like I'm talking about. I mean, this persona of him online is even worse in real life when he's knows there's no cameras. He's a right nasty little devil. That's why I started calling him Hands of the Ginger Devil after that. Yeah, that's my nickname for him. He's not a nice person at all, man. Not a nice person.
Sorry guys, I'm my mic seems to be picking up all my heavy breathing tonight.
Look, is it? Manny, look, is it that footy dog Ghost? Your favorite.
Oh, Ghost loves this fucking channel. He's on this shit all the time. He's
He
riding on
praised him.
dicks
Do you know what's
constantly.
happened here? Do you know what's happened? Do you know what's so weird about it? Sometimes I say stuff here, like 4 years ago, I might have said something here. This guy remembers everything I say. Like he's kind of like, I don't want to say like I'm his new kind of religious leader. Raj said this on the 20th of June, 2018. And I written this, Raj said, and I was not joking, he remembers everything. That's how much this guy worships the Raj. Keep worshipping, bitch.
Yeah, man. These guys are fucking losers, man. How many years Ghost has been in these chats?
Yeah, I
just
feel
texting?
embarrassed. Dude,
I mean-
I actually feel embarrassed for people. Like, I've been away from Speaker's Corner out of this kind of loop. And when I come back, I feel embarrassed. Like, oh my God,
You
I
should
can't
be,
believe.
'cause you
I
have
can't
an
believe I'm
argument
wasting
with-
my energy. Yeah? Now, sometimes I jump on and I have a bit of fun, but I don't let it consume me. As soon as this is off, I don't think about it. Whereas before, I used to let it get on my nerves and stuff. Now, I'm just like, wow, these guys are so pathetic. Like, so pathetic. It's embarrassing. You got family and kids, and like, all you're doing. Yeah, this is the main one. Yeah, let me just read something, man. If you need, I beg you. I don't have time after ruining the 20-year plan. Look, I said a couple of years ago. I mean, you understand when I say this year, I'm gonna go Speaker's Corner for 20 years, if I want to, basically. Yeah, if I want to go Speaker's Corner, I can go for 20 years. He takes that as literally, I was gonna go Speakers for 20 years every weekend. This is how much my words have got into your head, dude. Look after your family and kids, man. I heard that when you're like sleeping, you're saying my name, lad. Lad said he's going sick for 20 years. Lad. Come on, man. I feel embarrassed that we even entertain these dudes, man. I'm not joking. It's so embarrassing, man. Imagine. You know what? I realize now that when I go out here, luckily no one watches this, because no one's ever come up to me and asked me about YouTube because it's so cringy,
Damn.
So cringy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, sometimes you do want to have conversations.
Sorry, Banksy. Can I just say I don't take any of this shit that Raj just said. He first wasted his own time and everybody else's time conversing with these gutter rats, and then now he wants to kind of sit on this pedestal and said, "Well, I've come back now and I've realised they were gutter rats." Well, you should have realised that.
No, but you need to understand here. Look, when it comes to the COVID,
one minute. And then it's not just this Ghost guy. It's also all the other.
I agree with you. You told me, and I'm saying you're right, Manny.
One minute. You said this. Let me speak. So all these other people that you've had these type of pointless arguments where where these people are so weak that they can't even show their face on camera. And
You're
then-
right.
that's
I've said to you on the
right,
pod, you was right.
I will put you in the back chat. I will put you in the back chat. Right, and then on top of this, putting right to one side, now you have Wendy and Jupiter. Wendy and you look at their arguments with that Brian chap and that Esau guy. I mean, what are they arguing with? It's just absolutely ludicrous, and it just keeps going round and round and round. Like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? It's like, why did you do it in the first place?
All right, so let me explain the logic here. It's like sometimes, look, during I blame Corona. I'm going to blame everything on COVID, because that COVID made everyone kind of like get into a situation where we were stuck indoors. We had no outlet. And before, I never got into this bullshit of YouTube because I was at Speaker's Corner. There's real people there to be arguing with, rather than thinking. So yeah, what I'll say is just a moment of madness. And when I look back at it, I feel embarrassed. I even let myself even take time to even address these people like that. It's embarrassing. Like even now, like if I have a little argument, I'm just having it for fun. And as soon as I'm gone, I'm not going to think about it. Whereas before, for like a year, I mean, the most embarrassing one is Kate, in my opinion. Like I can't believe I let that woman get under my skin. I just don't. Even now, when I look back, I think I was like, I look back and I'm like, wow, you let that woman get under your skin. And the reason I let her get under my skin because I've never tackled a woman who's so aggressive. Like I didn't know how to deal with a woman that was that crazy. Normally with men, you know what to do, innit? You know what to say. You can easily rebut them. So yeah, I agree with you, man. You said to me from before, all of these people are low life, rats here who don't deserve any attention apart from maybe once in a while berating them. No, 100%
The
agree.
thing is, Rog, I mean, from my scale of people who deserve my attention or not, those who I speak to, those who I've seen in the park, like Speaker's Corner, they're like the top of the totem pole because they're actually real human beings that I've spoken to. Then the next level down are people who actually come on panels, and you can actually, if they have the camera on, they're even more brave than those who just have their voice. But at the minimum, those who I can speak to on the panels, they're like the next tier. The lowest tier people are the ones who have purely in text, that you have never heard them speak. They've never participated in anything except just some sniper shots in the text. They are like the bottom dwellers, as far as I'm concerned. The people who attack me, not the people who love me. I love you all in the text, but those who attack me, as far as giving them energy, giving them any kind of credibility, no, never. I barely. I mean, I've seen what's his name, Joe Baz, hundreds of times. He sent me hundreds of WhatsApp messages, same as you, Manny. But this is like one of very rare occasions. But what I mean is also, this is one of very rare occasions. We've even mentioned this guy because he's a text monkey. You know what I mean? He doesn't count. He's a bottom feeder. He doesn't really count as a person that is worthy of mentioning.
Bugsy. Yeah. Look here. I'm gonna look back in 2021 and 2021 as like I'm gonna try and forget that year. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna wipe it out as a year of madness because like I said and done things that like I don't think I ever would have done if it wasn't for the circumstance around. I feel it. Yeah, I mean, I remember Manny kept saying, "Raj, what are you doing?" I was like, yeah, I knew in my head it was madness. I was like, and now I'm so glad I've got out of that kind of like thinking. I like to have a bit of fun sometimes, a bit of trolling and like take that person, just move on in it, man. Don't take it personally. Don't lose sleep over it. These people are just nobodies, isn't it? Never going to affect your life. Never going to do anything. It's only people that you meet and you really see. Those are the people who you should value and what they think, especially people that you get on with.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No,
I said to Jupiter as well, like you just need to kind of like, just laugh it off in it, man. But the problem is when people start going for your family, it's a very emotional thing. Yeah, man. You need to understand that if people suddenly find out who your mum is or your thing, and that's where it gets more complicated. I agree. You should still ignore them.
But you also need to understand. You've got to understand that somebody will only do that if they can't attack your argument. Think about it. If they could attack your argument, then they wouldn't use that as a last resort. Now, why? It's the same people will call you a racist, they'll call you an Islamophobe, they'll call you all these. Why? Because they need to put you in a box. Like say Muslim, for example, they have to call someone like you or me or Banksy an Islamophobe because they can't, because we're talking logic. So unless in their eyes they can label us as somebody that hates them for whatever reason, then they have to listen to our logic. But they can't do that because they haven't got any reasoning power between their ears. So they have to label us as somebody as sinister and keep coming at us. And then, of course, some people, might be Islamophobes, as they call them, or have anger towards them, and they'll crack. And that's what they're doing. They're not even clever trolls. They're just annoying. But anyway, thanks for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing.
I'm gonna be to shiver that I'm gonna be back at the park soon anyway. To see what's going on. Just have a little gander.
You should have come down on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I was thinking
Raj,
about it.
great.
Then I typed in what was going on in Trafalgar Square. It looked so boring. I was like, what's the point of me just going to speak? But if I knew those lunatics were talking like that, I probably would have turned up because.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It was like it was Manny, me, Steve, Andy. It was Andy, right? Manny, the other chap.
Yes.
Steve's friend. Yeah, Andy. And we went down to a pub. We had some drinks. We laughed. We talked. It was a good little bonding session. It was like lads. It was a good lads
to me is miserable,
session.
man. I don't want to sit in a pub drinking.
Yeah, but we were talking. We were conversing. We were discussing things, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
No. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, if the weather was good, I would have went. But when I saw the weather, I was like,
admittedly, it was.
That's what really put the dampener on it. I was like, okay, in my area, it was actually raining, and I was going to think about, okay, let me pop down to Oxford Circus, or even go. Did you not go Speaker's Corner on Sunday?
No, we couldn't be asked with that. Manny's like, forget that place.
There was a wonderful place called the Admiralty that was serving some very nice cold drinks.
Yes, yeah. We went to the pub instead. But in all honesty, if Manny wasn't with me, I probably would have gone on my own because I would, I was like, what else am I got to do? I'm already in London. But because Manny was with me and the pub was just so much more inviting.
Hello, Ralph's in the channel. Ralph, your best mate.
Salam alaikum.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This guy is like, I don't know how he fools people into thinking that he's genuine about anything, but people do fall for his tricks. So you gotta give him credit. Like he's like, when sometimes when you see a con man, and you're like, wow, I hate the con man, but the people are so stupid around him. You can't feel sympathy for the people they're stealing money from, innit? Because they're so dumb, they're just giving it. So with him, I don't feel sorry for the people around him. I'm like, wow, you really falling for his tricks.
And also, I've got some good news as well. Man City are up 1-0 against Real Madrid.
All right. I'm not really sure what to do with that, but
but
awesome.
But talking about Ralph, he's good for comedy, and that's
It's
important to have
fun,
these people.
I mean, look, you guys may, you may have your own individual feelings about Ralph, and I myself am highly, highly skeptical of Ralph's behavior. But there are certain things that he has covered that I can't deny, especially when it comes to the cathedral and when it comes to the way that the cathedral is behaving, the moving. Now you guys can call it the powers that be, the 1%ers, the economic forum guys, whatever you want to call them. He calls the overarching system that is running this world at the moment is the cathedral, and it has. His insights on this has been way ahead of the curve.
Well, the thing is,
there are people who are now using his terminologies.
No, but the thing is, even your worst enemy, even your worst enemy may be right on certain things. And this is the thing, that sometimes people will hate someone so much that they're blinded even for the truth. They will disagree with them because they hate them. Like, you have to look at the topic, innit, and like individually kind of like, assess whether you agree with it. He's good for entertainment, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
Nazi Ralph comes up with a lot of interesting points, but the thing is, that every time you ask him to bring the evidence, he disappears and he says he's going to Tamil Nadu for a couple of weeks. And
Tamil Nadu.
Right, so it's unfortunate that he has to be labelled a bullshit artist. But anyway, good on you, Ralph. I do enjoy listening to you. I think you're great comedy.
You know what? You two should have I think the problem with you two is that both of you are posh, yeah. And so you're fighting the kind of Asian posh battle.
The Asian posh battle.
It's like a little kind of like warfare, like
I'm
you trying a
not-
little category in it. Like who's the most poshest brown person?
I'm not posh, and I definitely don't look like that.
No, you definitely win out. There's no
one
doubt.
thing-
Ralphish can't beat the Punjabi
Yeah.
out here, man. There's
One,
no
one thing
doubt about
I gotta say, this is something I said to Ralph himself on his show. I said, literally from 2019, I sat next to this man while he was zikhailing and promoting Patriotic Alternative, which is a neo-Nazi sort of organization, as as good as Britain is going to get, and yet within 2 years, from 2019 to 2022, he went from Zikhail, Patriotic Alternative, anti-Islamophobe, literally doing gun symbols, signs against Rashma Akhtar's head, to becoming the Friends of Muslims. No, hold on, Ralph, hold on. To becoming the Friends of Muslims and having the most amount of Jews I've ever seen on a single panel. His panel was literally wall-to-wall Jews with Israeli flags and just, Cohens and Epsteins and Weinsteins and Goldsteins all over the fucking place. And I'm like, dude, 2 years ago you were zikhailing. How is this possible?
Banksy, when I first met him, I had a conversation with him. He was a Sivnat pro-Israeli, I remember, because I had a conversation about his politics. Then in 6 months, he turned into the most anti-Israel, neo-Nazi, pro-Islam guy, and now he's gone through. I tried to date Duvid. Duvid, he's actually quite an interesting character, but he made me anti-Semitic for like 10 minutes. That guy, like literally can turn like the most pro kind of like Jewish people anti-Semitic. Like he's just a. Why don't you try and get him on him, man? Duvid.
Yeah, we got to get Duvid. Duvid is interesting, actually. Duvid is a character.
What, to bring Ralph on here?
No,
Duvid.
Duvid is this Jewish guy, but he's very different from the Jewish regular Jews.
Is he the guy that keeps going onto Zabida's channel? And
He does go on there a lot.
What's the point of getting him on?
He's a character. He's definitely a character, and to be honest with you, though, I think he is kind of on the spectrum as well. No offense, Raj, but I feel that he is.
I'll take him. As well.
He's a little bit odd, shall we say?
I mean, the thing. What was weird about him is that somebody was anti-Semitic to him, so I defended the Jews. I said, look, I was like making fun of them for being anti-Semitic, and then like 2 minutes later, he started attacking Sikhs. I was like, well, what were you attacking us for? Like, I just defended your group. He's just a weird dude, man. Like, the other thing, he's very pessimistic. He always looks like he's about to die or something, or someone's about to die, or there's doomsday coming. Like, he always looks like, even when he's eating, he looks like he's just like in an apocalypse.
Duvid. I actually also think Mossad. He's kind of funny and he's an interesting character as well.
Mossad's a good guy.
Of course,
Is
I
he
mean, I think.
Mossad?
Yeah. Is he anti-Jewish? No. He's
Jewish.
IDF, dude. He's the guy's like,
Jewish.
Yeah. He's pro. He's well pro-Israeli. But the one thing, Manny, the person we definitely have to approach is actually Joseph from the park. Joseph, Israeli advocacy. I'm sure he will come on actually because he's come on my show before. So if he's gone as low as coming onto my show.
Have a Jewish extravaganza. You have like Duvid, Joseph, and maybe
and Mossad. Yeah.
We could do that. So next week we have Danny Roscoe coming on. So that'll be a good stream. We also are lining up. It hasn't been confirmed. We're trying to get the politician Marie-Anne Waters to come on as well.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after that, if we want to bring in the Jewish gentleman, you certainly can do. And then we're gonna step it up a few notches, and the guests are gonna get even more interesting. We're gonna have to surprise you with that. So by summer, we should have an upgraded, fuel-injected turbo system on Speaker's Corner, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, the Anne-Marie Waters one. I mean, I don't know. She's just too much for me, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she's just a bit overboard.
But the thing is, these are still interesting characters. I
do kind of understand. It's like, she is a lesbian, so it's like a lesbian who, it's like a chicken like in KFC. Like, they're gonna be scared of KFC.
But she's a lefty like you.
I'm not lefty. I was a lefty at some point. And I've gone way.
Apologize for being a lefty.
The funny
Apologize
thing
right
is,
now.
though, the funny thing is, right? According to like on the Ralph scale, we are all lefties. Even you, Manny.
Yeah.
You would be you're not a conservative in
You're
the
not,
definition
I'm
of
more far right
conservative.
than that.
Again, we're going down that Raj versus, the trilogy. He's like, who cares what Ralph thinks? We don't even take him seriously, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, like, with Amory Waters, like, I kind of like think I don't know. I'd like to actually hear the conversation and see if she's kind of like changed her views or anything. She was just too much last time. Remember when he was having a conversation? I was like, wow, this is way too much, man.
Yeah.
And this is coming from the number one Islamophobe, allegedly.
Yeah, I would be interested in having some kind of a conversation with Jada Franson, but to be honest with you, it would become confrontational because she speaks so much nonsense on her show when I listen to it from time to time, and I'm like, are you even in touch with the reality of the world? It's like, come on, sometimes it's just ridiculous. And to be honest, as I said to I think it's Freedom for Britain or whatever, that guy who shows her. I said to him, dude, just get Jada to open up an OnlyFans account while she's still young enough to make a few quid. She will rake it in.
Yeah, but
and
the
then
thing
retire.
about Freedom for Britain, he was actually a full Amory Waters kind of like super fan. Like, like if she was to say she had an OnlyFans, he'd be the main one contributing on it. And now he hates her, so I don't take anything he says seriously. That dude, he just goes all over the place, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think he's there's a lot of British natives, if you will, white British people who are politically orphans. They don't like the Conservatives because they're not conservative enough. They despise the Labour Party, they despise all the other parties, and there really isn't a political party that kind of encompasses their views. So they latch on to fads, what I call fad parties, like Britain First, like Freedom for Britain, like PA. All of these are fad political parties that come and go. They'll be here today, they'll be gone tomorrow. And these orphaned people, these politically orphaned English people, are desperately looking for some party that would actually represent them.
There's nothing there, man. There's nothing.
But that's why it's a rich time in British history.
That's why I said me and Manny should set up a
can
political
emerge.
party. Me and Manny should set one up.
There you go. But I'm on a serious level. Right now, Britain is absolutely ripe for a real conservative British party, which will actually see to the interest of the native British man. And there is a hunger out there for such a party, but no one's managed to actually properly address it.
I had the Liberal Democrats, because the elections going, I had them come out. I told them straight to the face, like, I'm not going to vote for you. Yeah,
Well,
I'm not voting anyway. They
Democrats,
wouldn't
they can
leave.
go and
They
die
wouldn't
as far as
leave.
I
Yeah,
care.
the guy wouldn't leave. He was an Asian guy. Yeah. Oh, vote. I said, I'm not voting. He said, vote for me. Vote. I said, I'm not voting. He said, why? I said, you're all the same. I don't really see any difference. Yeah.
There's
I said,
no way.
I did say to him, I said, but out of Conservative and Labour, you're actually worse than the both of them because you're fake. Your panel, your actual
Exactly.
Party is fake.
One time I voted for Liberal Democrats, and that was in 2000 and I don't know, it was like early 2000, just after the Iraq War, and I voted for them because they were the only party that didn't want to go to war and said we would, resist this war campaign in Iraq, because I absolutely was anti-war Iraq war, and that was the one and only time I voted for those assholes, and I will never vote for them again. Ever. I will rather circumcise myself with a spoon.
Let me tell you that firsthand, because I used to canvass for Labour Party, and the reason why I don't like them is because at least with Conservatives, what you see is what you get. With Labour, what you see is what you get. With the Liberal Democrats, they were real sneaky. They would go from area to area. They changed their kind of skin. They were like chameleons in order to get votes. So they weren't consistent, and this is why I didn't like them. Yeah. Do you know how it is when you canvass? You're walking around here with your little clipboards, and there's other gangs from different political parties. It's like you're in a gang warfare, and you walk past each other, sneering at each other, and all that kind of stuff. It's weird, man. Have you never done canvassing?
No, I never believed in any of the political parties enough to even fucking vote for them, let alone canvass for them.
Cole says, Rod, what's with the Sikhs fighting each other in India? I didn't know Sikhs are fighting each other. Over what? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, well, see, Ralph is saying, but behind the curve. I mean, the fact is that I don't see a single political party in Britain that is meeting the needs of the British people, or certainly the native British. If you think which party, if you have a political party registered that I don't know about, please let me know, Ralph. But I don't see one. I don't see Britain First certainly to be that party. I don't see the Reform Party really being. Although I support Steve, I don't really think the Brexit Party is non-existent. UKIP is dead in the water. The Jada Franson Britain for Freedom, or freedom British patriotic freedom party. I don't see them going anywhere. I mean, like these fucking ridiculous parties that are coming out now. Patriot, British Patriot, freedom.
Yeah, UK, Britain,
freedom
Great Britain,
party.
UK Freedom Party. Yeah, it's like 50,000. Just to prove how British they are now.
They got like a list of a mile long of just freedom party, British patriotic. We literally kiss the rectum of St. George party. It's like,
I mean, politics is sad, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's sad because there's no real choice anymore. Like, I haven't voted 2 elections, like the last 2 elections. I'm talking about general elections, because there's nothing there. There's no one to vote for. I don't want to vote Conservative. I've always disliked Conservatives.
The Conservatives are not even Conservative.
Yeah, they're not. They're basically New Labour. They're New Labour.
Yeah. Exactly. The Tony Blair's Labour became the Conservative Party.
Yeah, I was a real Blairite in my day, man.
Yeah, and then the Labour Party just went full Bolsheviks.
Yeah.
They just went full.
So Raj, I've got a question for you, mate. So do you know when was the last time you went to Leicester?
Wow, it's been a long time, man. Maybe 8 years ago.
So do you know when you drive into Leicester town centre, there's the 2 Sikh flags on the big roundabout?
I don't remember them, to be honest.
Okay,
I went by train, so I didn't go by.
All right, so picture you drive into Leicester, and when you get to the town centre, there's a massive roundabout where the entire town centre runs from, almost. Yeah. And when I saw the Sikh flags, I thought that is OTT. And if I was like a native white English person, I'd be offended at that, right? And it doesn't make me feel comfortable. What's your opinion about that? Does that make you feel comfortable? Do you think it's okay to, whether it's Sikh or not, do you think it's okay to have that type of religious symbolism kind of so much in your face?
I'll need to see it. I mean, and the reason for it is that they're permanently. Is there a more kind of? And look, I do understand why native, like people that are indigenous to this land, like for a long time, going to if you go Southall, there's the Southall that is written in Punjabi. If you go Bethnal Green, Bethnal Green written in, then it's written in Bengali and stuff. I can kind of understand why people would be a little bit like, okay, this is going a bit too far. For me personally, I think, as long as you got both kind of represented, I'm fine. The flag thing, me personally as a Sikh, I'm not going to have a problem with it, but I can see why somebody from outside might have a problem with it and go, okay, I don't believe we should have any kind of religious flags coming up. And if someone said that, I wouldn't think they're Sikh-ophobe. I wouldn't say you're anti-Sikh. I would just say, look, well, fair enough, man.
What about you, Banksy? You've been to Leicester, travelled to Leicester. You must know where I mean when you get to the roundabout where the Hilton Hotel is. There's two big flags.
You're talking about the one with the flyover, the one with the flyover on it, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know, because during Leicester has over the years become more and more very overtly sort of representing the Indian, Pakistani, Punjabi community. The Melton Road was the original favorite area where it was full of, the Indian shops and everything. And in Diwali, they would change all the signs on the roads to celebrate Diwali. And that has actually grown over the years. From what I understand now, Diwali, people from India fly to Leicester to celebrate Diwali. This is what I've been hearing. So it's become a massive population of Indian, people from the Indian subcontinent, either Pakistani, Indian, Punjabi. And I guess that, as a particular population grows, the evidence of their existence in that, or their dominance in that area, is going to be displayed in some form or fashion. And so if the Sikh flag is flying, it's because that city has now become a majority, either representative of the Sikh or the Hindu community.
I mean, and the thing is, look, and I know people can say, Raj, you're Islamophobe. It also, depending on what the flag means to other people, like, is it a flag that conjures up oppression or kind of things in their mind that, is a bit uncomfortable? And I don't think when people see the Sikh flag of the Khanda, the Nishan Sahib, or the thing, I don't think it conjures up any kind of negativity per se.
Yeah, but we're just using it. We're just using it as a symbol, so it could be reflective of all religions, right? So we're just using it because we can discuss it freely without kind of ruffling any feathers. I mean, really, what we're discussing is applicable for mosques, synagogues, Hindu temples, the whole thing. The point is, are these things, do they need to be so in your face?
I don't think they need to be. I think sometimes it can be counterproductive. I think depending on the area and the consensus of the people, if no one's complaining and stuff. Now, if there was like 50,000 complaints come through about it, then you have to listen to the public, and if no one's really saying anything, then no one's being harmed. I don't think. I personally think that religious kind of like flags and stuff should be left to religious places or people's homes. If they have it.
The thing is, I'll be perfectly honest with you. It is the ever-growing symbolism of England no longer being for the English, and I'm not happy about that. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I am not happy about any of these things. If I go to Spain, and if I go to an area and I see nothing but St. George's flags, in like, I don't know, you go to Malaga, go to Marbella, and you suddenly come across an area where there's just St. George's flags everywhere, you're going to be like taken back. And if you're a Spaniard, you're going to be pissed. And I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you for having that attitude, because people, no matter what you want, no matter what you do, people are attached to their land. People really do want a country for them, of their own, and for their people. It's just innate in us. You could say it's evolutionary. Maybe it's territorial sort of evolutionary instincts that we have, but generally, most people are not going to be happy to see another nation's flag or another culture's flag fly in there, boldly and brash, just in their. Well,
that's why I said that I wouldn't take it. If people will start, like someone said, I don't like the flag. I wouldn't go, "Are you anti-Sikh?" I'll be like, okay, I can understand it. You don't want another group's flag superseding your own flag, in the country that we're in. I get it. I won't equate that to you. Be like, if you said to me, "Oh, I don't want the flags of the Sikh kind of religious symbol," I won't say Banksy's anti-Sikh. I think that's the thing. I mean, people take kind of criticism like that as an attack on their community. It's probably across the board.
Well,
and people don't want the Star of David. They wouldn't want the Munich crescent.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you went to Golders Green and you saw nothing but Israeli flags flying from every house and every shop, you're like, holy shit, what's going on? What's with these Jews? And the Jews, because of the persecutions they suffered for so many years, they are very careful at flaunting these sort of things, because they have suffered because of persecutions from other cultures and other people that they live in.
That they don't belong. They have an ulterior kind of
exactly
somebody else.
Exactly.
I just think the problem is that I think it's double exacerbated a bit worse, because a lot of English people don't feel like they can put their own flags up without criticism or being racist.
Exactly.
And when they see another group putting their flag up without no criticism, and that's going to annoy people. It's going to cause problems long term, I think.
Yeah, I think
people don't feel like they can
community cohesion.
Everyone can, community cohesion.
It's not gonna help community cohesion, because, nevertheless, guys, I mean, we have to all come to the realization, whether you're born here or not, this is England that belongs to the English. It always has, and it will always be. And I myself, as much as I love the English, I mean, I'm literally talking the other day, on Sunday, I was talking to my friend who is Palestinian and who is currently, his mum lives in Kuwait, and he's kind of going back and forth between England and Kuwait right now because his mum's elderly. And he says, his dad and his mum have lived in Kuwait for at least 40 to 45 years. His dad worked for a company in Kuwait for well over 30 years. And yet they are never going to be Kuwaitis. They will never get the benefits the Kuwaitis get. They will never get the privileges Kuwaitis get. They will never be Kuwaitis. Because Kuwait will never accept a non-Kuwaiti, even though these people are Palestinian. They speak Arabic. They're Muslims. They have all the similar cultures and religious beliefs as the Kuwaitis do. The Kuwaitis will never allow them to be Kuwaitis, and these are Muslims.
Yeah, but I disagree with this for the UK. I think it's a different kind of.
Sorry, Raj. Let me finish. What I wanted to finish off with saying is how wonderful it is to be in this country, that within a short amount of years, I became a British citizen. The British people accepted me, and they accept me as a British person. Maybe they don't accept me as an Englishman. Well, maybe the whiteness helps, but they accept me for the large majority of Brits. Now, I'm not talking about the PA types or the Fransons, Jada Fransons types. They may never accept me, and I don't give a fuck because I don't have to live with them. But for the majority of British people, have really accepted me as one of their own, as a person that they can live alongside, work with, and enjoy good times and bad times with. I've got some amazing English friends that I grew up with from school, and they are still my friends to this very day. And I have, we're brothers. We're brothers.
Yeah, but I do what? Look here. In order, look, I'm born here, and I think anyone that's born here, and even if you're not, and you come in, you've now become a citizen. This is your home. Now, I'm never going to say I'm indigenously here. This is not my land. If I go back before 1970, I've got no connection to England in terms of people. They're from India. So, my history is somewhere else. But that doesn't mean that, going forwards in 100, 200, 300 years, whatever, you're going to have a connection to this land. Like if you've got descendants and stuff like that. And I just think that, it's kind of dangerous when you start saying, okay, you can never be part of this country because you're from outside. And so you're always going to be a guest. At some point, when guests, if you're a guest, then you never really treat your house the same way as somebody that rents it or buys it. You understand? There is a difference, whether you like it or not. And you have to feel like this is your home for you to want the best for your home. Now, if you think this is only temporary and I don't really give a shit, then why would you have any vested interest in whether the UK is safe or prosperous or anything like that? And we have to get to a stage where, this is our home and we want, the best for it moving forwards. And that means everybody, we should all be in the same boat. And the people that aren't on the same boat need to get chucked out. Right?
Gentlemen, as much as I am enjoying this very enjoyable conversation, I do want to catch the extra time coverage of Manchester City, Real Madrid versus Man City. It's currently 5 apiece on aggregate. I know you guys are not really football fans. However, we do want Manchester City to play Liverpool in the final later on.
Do we really want that?
Yeah,
yes,
we really want that. Yeah.
Okay, then we really want that. Apparently,
we got a Liverpool t-shirt.
Apparently, we want that. No, actually, Rog, I don't know if you're. What time is it now? The thing is, I got to go to work tomorrow. I can't stretch this thing out because I was saying I could do a stream after this.
I can't today anyway. Do tomorrow.
But yeah, it's gonna go.
Do you guys want to carry this on?
No.
It's best if we end it because I got to go to work. And maybe tomorrow, Rog, I'll drop you a line on Twitter. Keep an eye on your
Take
Twitter
your hat off
messages.
one more time. Let's have a look at that.
Oh, for God's sake, dude!
Come on, let's have a look.
It's a fucking mess. It's a giant mess. It's an absolute mess.
It's so natural though. It's amazing what they can do, man. It's like
man. No.
You'd never think that's kind of like a head.
This sucker is glued on tighter than a nun's crutch.
And it grows as well, doesn't it? Does it grow?
No. Of course it doesn't grow, man. It's prosthetic. No. It's just it's very long when you get it. Then the hairdresser styles it the way you want and cuts it to the shape and size you want. But that's pretty much it.
Oh, so you You've got the best of all worlds because you can now save on haircuts as well. You don't need to keep on cutting it.
Oh, you still have to cut the side though. I
Yeah,
still
but
have
that's
to go.
nothing though. You can do it
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. Well,
Wow,
I
it's
mean, I
actually
don't do it
quite a good
myself.
deal. But do you need to replenish it though? Is it gonna last?
Oh yeah, every 6 months or so, you kind of do have to. I mean, right now this one is up for a new one. I got to get a new one.
Wow, all right. It's looking downsides are coming up now. Man. You need to go over the downs because I didn't realize it was 6 months. I thought it was like a couple of years.
No, 6 months.
All right, anyway, but we started with the hair. We finished with the hair.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, any final thoughts before you are ejected?
Yeah,
go on.
Just like I said, we got me and Manny, and obviously Banksy in some way have got something very, very interesting coming up in the near future. And yeah, it's going to be really enlightening about, a lot of things me and Manny Cinder and other people have been saying about certain topics. We've got concrete proof. And we're gonna make sure we highlight it, and I'll be interested to see people's reactions. Are they gonna shoot the messenger, or are they gonna see the message and go, "Okay, this is bang out of order"? It'll be interesting. Yeah, cool. You know what I do, man. Big up anyway, man. I'm off anyway. Take care.
All right, thanks for coming on, Raj. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you very much. Any final thoughts from you?
Well, we have to do we have to do the usual salutary or what's it called? Anyway, the shilling of the channel, guys. All of you go to Speakers Corner Online and create an account and get involved with Speakers Corner Online. All our best and censored stuff or stuff that would be censored on YouTube is on Speakers Corner Online. We can't even show you some of the stuff that's on there right now because it would be this channel would be immediately striked for it. We've got videos that ourselves we've recorded from the Tommy Robinson the Rape of Britain that is now we put on Speakers Corner Online because we can't put it on YouTube. YouTube will strike us and take us down. So if you guys want to see what we really think and what really goes on, and you want to see more cum trails by Manny Cinder, he's just like just all over the camera. Then go to Speakers Corner Online, create an account, and check us out on there. You can contact us privately on there as well, just like you would have private messages on Twitter and all the rest. So go there if you want to contact us offline or off the stream. You can contact us. Me, I'm on there as Banksy Style Live. I think it's actually Banksy Style, and Manny is obviously Manny. And again, there's a plethora of stuff that we just can't show you on YouTube. So if you want to see what we really think and what is really going on in the world, especially some of the hardcore stuff, then go there. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, it was this platform was a kind of a slow starter, but now there are stuff on there that I myself am now looking and sitting down and sort of exploring and going, holy shit, these articles, there are people who post articles which I never even, the kind of information that you would never get on your mainstream media, platforms. So yeah, go there, subscribe, open an account and follow and just post your wildest shit. As far as YouTube is concerned, subscribe to this channel if you're not, share it, pass this message on, tell everyone you want to find us, go to Speakers Corner Online. Also, me, I'm Manny, I'm going to be away for a week, but when I do get back, we're definitely going to hit the road a bit more, hit the streets and do some IRL interviews and try to stir up some shit in the streets of London. And of course, subscribe to Banksy Style Live. I'll be doing shows while I'm away from a lovely beach. If you want to find out what's happening to me on holiday, then you'll get some live streams.
I've also put a link for the iPhone app. Let me see if I can also put a link of the Android app, because I know increasingly less people have iPhones these days. So that's the iOS app. That is the Android app. Or you can just go to the website speakerscorner.online.
Actually, could you post the speakerscorner.online link as well, Manny, if you can just get the guys to drop that in.
All right, fine.
No, because it's good to have it. We should actually have it pinned in our comments, so everyone that comes on here immediately goes there. Do we have it actually in our description? I hope we have it in our description.
Yeah. They put it in there, didn't they? Okay, there you go.
Awesome. Manny, final thoughts?
My final thoughts are thank you to Raj for coming on. Thank you to everybody
in the chat who watched this, who commented, whether you like us or not. It all adds to the great environment. And obviously, thanks to Banksy, who's brilliant, and thanks to Manny Sender, who's also brilliant. So
Love you,
there
Manny.
we go. So we're done, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?